When you hold a human heart in your hands, not the metaphorical heart of poetry, but the literal, physical, living muscle, it changes you. I've done it thousands of times. And the first thing you learn, the thing that never leaves you, is that it's not a machine. A machine is predictable. A machine is binary. This is a story. It's a biography written in tissue. In my hands, I can feel the story of this person's life. I can feel the stiffness of chronic stress, the fibrotic scars of silent inflammation. I can feel the give of a heart that was cared for, or the brittle, calcified resistance of one that was ignored. We call ourselves heart surgeons, but that's a misnomer. We're plumbers, really. We're called in at the very end of the line when the pipes are clogged to bypass the problem. We sew, we stitch, we reroute. And we're very good at it. We can give you another 5, 10, 20 years. But the one question that haunts the back of my mind, the one I ask myself every single morning before the scrub-in is, why are the pipes clogging in the first place? We are brilliant at the fix. We are terrible at the why. And the why is not what you think. It's not the dramatic, sudden event. A heart attack is not a lightning strike from a clear sky. It is the end of a long, slow, quiet process. It's a failure of an ecosystem. And the this that I do every single day, it's not one thing. It's not a superfood. It's not a miracle pill. It's a philosophy. It's a conscious, daily decision to not become my own patient. It's a series of small, almost invisible habits that are all aimed at solving the why. Because I've held the evidence of our collective failure in my gloved hands. And I can tell you, the problem is not a lack of bypass grafts. The problem is a fundamental misunderstanding of what the heart is and what it needs. We've been told the story of cholesterol, the clog, the bad LDL, the good HDL. We've been told the fear-saturated fat to avoid the egg yolk. And this is the single greatest distraction in the history of modern medicine. It's not wrong, but it's like blaming the scab for the wound. When you see a plaque, a blockage, you are not looking at the cause of the disease. You are looking at the response to the disease. You are looking at the body's own attempt to spackle over a pothole in the road. Cholesterol is the spackle. It's the repair crew. The real question, the one that can save your life, the one I build my day around is, what's causing the potholes? What is injuring the delicate one-cell-thick lining of our 60,000 miles of blood vessels? That Teflon coating we call the endothelium. Because that is the disease. The disease is endothelial dysfunction. It's the scratching, the inflaming, the sandpapering of this delicate, velvety lining. When that lining gets scratched, it becomes sticky. It becomes Velcro instead of Teflon. And then, and only then, does the spackle, the cholesterol, begin to stick. And what causes the scratching? This is the secret. This is the fix. It's not one thing. It's a hydra of 3. The first scratcher is inflammation. This is the fire in the system. The second is glycation. This is the caramelization of the system. The third is oxidative stress. This is the rusting of the system. Fire, sugar, and rust. That is the enemy. And my entire day is a strategic, offensive, and defensive campaign against those 3 forces. And it starts not with my breakfast, but with my breath. This is the first thing I do, before my feet hit the floor. Before the cortisol panic of the day begins, I manage my rust and fire by breathing through my nose. It sounds absurdly simple, doesn't it? A heart surgeon's secret is breathing? Yes, because the vast majority of us are over-breathing and mouth-breathing. We are in a state of chronic, low-grade, sympathetic fight-or-flight activation. And this state, this shallow, panicked mouth-breathing, does 2 terrible things. It tells the body there is a tiger nearby, spiking inflammatory cortisol, and it fails to produce the single most important molecule for heart health you've probably never heard of: nitric oxide. Your paranasal sinuses, the empty spaces in your skull, are not empty. They are a dedicated nitric oxide factory. When you breathe in through your nose, you pull this miracle gas down into your lungs where it's absorbed into the bloodstream. And what does nitric oxide do? It is the body's own God-given vasodilator. It tells the endothelium, that wallpaper lining, to relax, to widen. It lowers your blood pressure naturally. But that's not all. It's also a potent antiplatelet. It makes the blood slippery. It makes the Teflon more like Teflon. And it's anti-inflammatory. It calms the fire. When you breathe through your mouth, you get zero of this. You are bypassing the factory. You are starting your day in a vasoconstricted, sticky blood, inflamed state. So my first this is a 5-minute conscious nasal breathing only meditation. I am loading my system with its own best medicine. I am tuning my endothelium before the day has even begun. And this leads to the second and perhaps most critical of those scratchers on that list, glycation, the sugar coating. This is the one that sets the stage for the fire and the rust.
We, as a medical community, have been so obsessed with fat that we let the real villain slip right in the front door. I'm talking about blood sugar. When your blood sugar is chronically high, even a little high, that pre-diabetic range your doctor says to keep an eye on, you are quite literally caramelizing your insides. That excess sugar, glucose, in your bloodstream is a sticky rogue molecule. It starts to attach itself randomly and destructively to proteins. It's an uncontrolled chemical reaction. It's the same reaction that browns a piece of toast or sears a steak. It's called the Maillard reaction. And when it happens inside your blood vessels, it creates something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. And the name is chillingly accurate. These AGEs are the biological equivalent of rust. They make your flexible, bouncy blood vessels stiff, brittle, and old. They scratch the endothelium at a microscopic level, creating millions of tiny potholes for the Spackle, cholesterol, to stick to. This sugar fire is, in my opinion, the primary driver of the inflammatory fire. The glycation is the injury that the inflammation is responding to. And in the OR, I can feel it. A glycated aorta, a sugar-stiffened heart. It feels different. It's like a worn-out, brittle piece of leather instead of a supple, vital tissue. This connection, this sugar-heart axis, is the new frontier. It's the why we've been missing. And this is where the science is moving so fast, it's breathtaking. We've always said, control your diet, but we're now discovering specific natural compounds that can support the body's response to this sugar. Molecules that can help the cells hear the insulin signal again, that can help manage this sugar fire at its source before it becomes rust. It's not about a cure, but about a support, a way to help polish the cell's locks that have been gummed up by years of this. It's a revolutionary way of thinking, moving from managing the clog to preventing the scratch in the first place. It's truly a new paradigm, and I'm fascinated by it. For my colleagues and I, this is the most exciting area of preventative science in decades. I've put a link to some of this emerging research in the first pinned comment. If you're struggling with that sticky blood sugar, if you're in that pre-range, just take a look. It's a genuine aha moment in cardiovascular health. See for yourself what this new metabolic support is all about. It's a vital piece of this puzzle. So after I've set my nitric oxide levels, my entire day becomes about managing that sugar fire and the inflammatory fire. This leads me to breakfast, my second this. And I often skip it, or more accurately, I delay it. We've been told breakfast is the most important meal of the day. By who? By the cereal companies mostly. For me, as a surgeon, what's more important is when I'm not eating. It's called autophagy. It's the body's self-cleaning mode. It's the housekeeping crew that comes in overnight, finds damaged, rusted, glycated old proteins, those AGEs, and dissolves them. It recycles them. It's the most profoundly anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, anti-clogging process we have. And it only turns on when you are fasting, when your insulin levels are at rock bottom. The moment you eat, especially a typical American breakfast of cereal, toast, or orange juice, you spike your insulin and the cleaning crew immediately clocks out. You've just stopped the repair shift. So I do my breathing, I go for a walk, I drink water, I drink black coffee, and I let my body clean. I give my Teflon lining a chance to repair itself from the inside out. This compresses my eating window. I'm not dieting, I am timing. I'm giving my endothelium, my arteries, a rest. I'm giving them a chance to heal the potholes before I ever introduce traffic, food. This is a game changer, and it costs nothing. It's the simplest, most powerful this on the list.
When I do eat, my third this is a non-negotiable ratio. We're all obsessed with what to eat. As a surgeon, I am obsessed with the balance. It's not good fats versus bad fats. That's a children's story. It's the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. This is everything. Think of it this way. Omega-6 fats from seed oils like corn, soy, canola, sunflower, the oils in everything processed, are your fire starters. They are the pro-inflammatory messengers. You need some fire to fight infections, but we are drowning in them. Our ratio is 20-to-1 fire starter to fire extinguisher. Omega-3 fats from fatty fish, flax, chia, walnuts are your fire extinguishers. They are the anti-inflammatory messengers. They literally resolve the fire. They calm the scratching in the arteries. So my this is an obsessive management of this ratio. It's not low fat, it's right fat. It means I ruthlessly eliminate those industrial seed oils. I read every label. Salad dressing, made with olive oil. Mayonnaise, avocado oil. Cooking, olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, butter. Period. This right here is how you stop the fire at its source. You stop eating the fire starters that are hidden in 90% of the food in your grocery store. You are turning off the alarm dial that is telling your body to be inflamed 24/7. And you flood your body with the fire extinguishers. I eat fatty fish, sardines, salmon, mackerel at least 4 times a week. I take a high-quality omega-3 supplement every single day. I am actively managing my body's fire department. I'm not waiting for a fire, a heart attack, and calling 911, my surgeon self. I am preventing the fire from ever catching hold. If you're finding this ratio idea a new way of thinking, if it's clicking for you, just hit that like button. It's a small signal, but it tells me we're on the right track, that this deeper science is what you're here for. Now this brings me to the fourth this, and it's the one I see in the OR. I can't see your omega-3 levels, but I can see this. It's muscle, or more accurately, the lack of it. As we age, especially after 50, we begin to lose muscle. It's called sarcopenia, and we've been told this is a cosmetic issue, a vanity problem. That is a lie. Your skeletal muscle is your metabolic sink. It is your life insurance. Your muscles are a vast, glucose-hungry battery pack. When you eat a meal and that sugar flood comes, where does it go? If you have healthy muscle mass, your muscles suck it up like a sponge. They buffer the sugar spike. They protect your arteries from that caramelization process. They are your first line of defense. When you lose that muscle, you lose your buffer. You lose your sink. That same meal, that same piece of bread now has nowhere to go. The sugar stays in the river. It floods. It glycates your arteries. It scratches your endothelium. You become insulin resistant not because your pancreas failed, but because your muscle vanished. The sink is gone. So when I see a frail patient, I don't just see weakness. I see metabolic vulnerability. I see a person with no defense against the sugar fire. So my this is work. It's not cardio in the traditional sense. We are obsessed with cardio for the heart. But cardio, like running, doesn't build the sink. It makes the pump more efficient, yes, but it doesn't build the buffer. So my this is resistance training, 2 to 3 times a week, no excuses. I'm not talking about bodybuilding. I'm talking about maintaining my sink. I do squats. I do push-ups. I lift heavy things. I am investing in the organ that will protect my other organs. I am building the battery pack that will safely store the energy from my food so that it doesn't spill over and rust my arteries. This is the single most ignored anti-heart attack strategy there is. We in the heart world are finally realizing that the muscle doctor and the heart doctor should be the same person. Your muscle is your heart's best friend. And this leads to my 5th this. It's when I move. We just talked about what I do, resistance, but when I move is just as important. I never sit after I eat. This is another game changer. Remember the sugar flood? Well, your muscles have a secret entrance. Normally, they need a key, insulin, to let the sugar, glucose, in, but when you contract your muscles, when you move, they open a special door, it's called a GLUT4 transporter, that doesn't need a key. It siphons the sugar directly out of your bloodstream without needing any insulin. So think about this. You've just eaten. The sugar flood is coming. Your insulin keys might be a bit rusty, like most of us over 40. But if you simply get up and walk for 10 minutes, or do 20 air squats, or wash the dishes, you have manually opened the floodgates. You are sucking that caramelizing sugar out of your pipes, arteries, and shoving it into your sink, muscles, where it's safe. You have blunted the sugar spike. You have prevented the scratch. You have saved your endothelium just with a 10-minute walk. This is profound. And we just sit. We eat and we sit. We have dessert and we sit. We have engineered this magic bullet right out of our lives.
My this is a 10 to 15-minute walk every single time I eat. It's a non-negotiable. It's the active dessert that cleans my arteries rather than clogging them. It's the single most powerful, immediate thing you can do to manage that sugar fire. What do you think? Is this something you could do? Is this secret just too simple? Drop a comment below. I'm genuinely curious. What's the one barrier that stops us from doing this simple, life-saving walk? Let's talk about it. And if this is making sense, if you're feeling that click of understanding, do me a favor and tap that subscribe button. We're just scratching the surface of this new cardiology. We're moving from plumbing to biology, and I want you to be a part of it. This brings me to my final this. It's the most surgeon-like of all. It's my sleep. You think my job is in the OR? No. My job is to sleep, because sleep is not rest. Sleep is work. It's the night shift. It's the only time your repair crew, your autonomic nervous system, gets to fix the potholes, the endothelial damage from that day. It's when your Teflon gets resurfaced. It's when your brain washes itself, the glymphatic system. It's when your body extinguishes the inflammatory fire from the day. And when you get by on 5 or 6 hours, you are telling the repair crew, go home. You've canceled the fix. The potholes from Tuesday are still there on Wednesday, and now you add Wednesday's potholes on top, and Thursdays, and Fridays, until one day the pothole is so big, it causes a crash, a clot, a heart attack. Just one night of poor sleep has been shown to make you as insulin resistant, your keys don't work, as a type 2 diabetic. You wake up already in a sugar fire state. You wake up already in an inflammatory fire state. You wake up unrepaired. My this is an unapologetic, ruthless, religious devotion to my 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. It is the G-force multiplier for everything else on this list. It's what makes the breathing work. It's what makes the fasting work. It's what makes the movement work. To me, my bedroom is my real operating room. It's where the real healing happens. I make it cold. I make it pitch black. I turn off all electronics. I have a wind-down routine. I am not going to sleep. I am preparing for my shift, my repair shift. This is the secret of the heart surgeon. It's that the fix is not in the OR. The fix is in the day. It's in the breath. It's in the timing. It's in the ratio. It's in the sync. It's in the walk. And it's in the repair. When I stand over a patient with their chest open and my hands on their heart, I am not just a surgeon, I am a witness. I am witnessing the sum total of a billion tiny choices. The choices to breathe through the mouth, the choices to skip the repair shift, the choices to lose the sync, the choices to feed the fire with sugar and seed oils. And in my own life, I choose differently. I choose to be my own preventative medicine doctor. I choose to cultivate my endothelium. I choose to build my sync. I choose to extinguish the fire. I choose this because I've seen the alternative. And I am humbled by it. And I am motivated by it. Every single day. My this is a promise to my own heart that I will do everything in my power to never let it feel like the ones I hold in my hands. That is my this. And it's a this that is available to everyone. It's not a prescription. It's a perspective. It's a new story. And it all begins with understanding the fire. It all comes back to that sugar fire, that glycation that scratches our arteries. Taming that is the ballgame. That's why I've queued up this next video for you. It's the practical, boots-on-the-ground how-to. It's called The Best Foods to Lower Blood Sugar. We've talked about the why. Now, let's talk about the what. Click it. It's on the screen now. Let's keep this journey going. Let's learn how to eat to extinguish the fire. Thank you for your time. Be well and breathe through your nose.